Britain has cancelled its first deportation flight to Rwanda after a last-minute intervention by the European Court of Human Rights. Up to 7 people had been scheduled to leave Britain Tuesday evening, but lawyers for the asylum seekers launched an appeal seeking to block the deportation. Britain has defended the plan, arguing the move was a legitimate way to protect lives and thwart the business model of people smuggling networks. In April, Britain and Rwanda reached a deal to deport illegal migrants in the UK to the East African country. In exchange, Rwanda would receive millions of dollars in development aid. The deportees would be allowed to apply for asylum in Rwanda, not Britain. Well, let's get more on this story now. We're now joined by CGTN's Ollie Barrett in London, as well as Ethan Tashobia, who joins us live from Kigali, Rwanda. Ollie, I'll begin with you. As we're hearing, that first flight due to take asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda was cancelled just minutes before takeoff after legal rulings on Tuesday evening. What more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, what happened was that there were only a handful, actually, of asylum seekers on the plane who were going to be travelling to Rwanda under this scheme in the end. But the European Court of Human Rights put down a ruling related to one of those individuals, which said that effectively it wouldn't be right to deport him until the judicial review proceedings that he was working through with his legal team through the British courts had been completed. Now, previously, the UK government had effectively said that if that ruling had come down in the future, then that individual and others that might be affected could then return to the UK. But the European Court of Human Rights ruled that that was the wrong way to do things and that this person shouldn't be deported under this scheme until those proceedings had worked through the British courts completely. That then ended up being applied to some of the other individuals on the plane, to the point where there was no one left that could travel, and therefore the British government had to cancel the flight at great expense. We think that that flight, even though it didn't take off with anyone on board, probably cost the British government hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so that's leading to further criticism, not just from those groups who say that this is an inhumane and an immoral scheme. They say it's also unworkable and expensive. But the British government insists it will continue to press ahead. It's going to organise another flight at some point, an unspecified date in the future, and it also insists it will keep on fighting this in the courts as well.
Right. Ethan, coming to you now. Rwanda says that it's, quote, not deterred after the first flight due to take asylum seekers to Rwanda was cancelled. Is the government still committed, rather, to making this partnership work? Well, I'll jump over to Ollie then. Ollie, coming back to you, what next then for the UK Home Secretary Priti Patel and the government on the Rwanda asylum plan?
Yes, well, Home Secretary Priti Patel says the next flight is being organised, but she doesn't yet have the ability to put a date on when that flight might take place and how many people might be on it. Clearly, that will partly depend on the legal proceedings that are still underway and the various legal challenges that we expect would ensue as and when the British government puts another flight together and tries to get people onto it. Now, the UK government insists this is aimed at people who've arrived in the UK illegally. They say they're still open to receiving people via asylum routes that are set out, that are safe and that are legal, but they want to try and stop people making those dangerous journeys, particularly across the English Channel in flimsy boats, a journey that has led to repeated loss of life in recent years. The UK government says it's about breaking the business model of the people traffickers, the smugglers, who put on those boats at a cost of often thousands of dollars for individuals who are trying to make that journey. The UK government, as I say, insists it is committed to this. It's even talked about the idea of trying to change the law to try and get past some of these challenges that are coming down the route of the court processes that we're seeing. UK insisting it's committed to this, but as I say, we don't yet have a date on when another flight might be arranged to try and get this scheme off the ground.
All right, Ollie, thank you very much for your insights there. Ollie Barrett joining us live from London. We do apologize for technical difficulties in reaching Ethan Tashobia, who is joining us from Kigali.